Welcome to Primetime News on TV1. On to our lead story now. Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa announced this afternoon that the government has decided to withdraw from the process of implementing UN Human Rights Council Resolution 30/1, which was co-sponsored by Sri Lanka. Now, the resolution was adopted by the Human Rights Council in Geneva on the 1st of October 2015.
Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa issued a lengthy statement this afternoon on the travel ban imposed by the United States on Army Commander and Acting Chief of Defence Staff Shavendra Silva and his family. In his statement, the Prime Minister says, quote, "It is because of the historic betrayal committed by the Yahapalana government formed by the United National Party, the Tamil National Alliance and the JVP in co-sponsoring UN Human Rights Council Resolution 30/1 in 2015 that other countries are able to name members of our armed forces as violators of human rights," unquote. He adds, quote, "Even though this collective punishment has been meted out on the grounds that the army commander had committed violations of human rights, no one knows what these allegations are," unquote. The Prime Minister says that whilst the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights says that until a person accused of a crime is proved guilty according to law, he should be deemed innocent, this principle does not seem to apply to Sri Lanka's army commander or even to members of his family. Rajapaksa says the government's displeasure has been communicated to the government of the United States in the strongest possible terms. Human Rights Council Resolution 30/1, which was led by the US and adopted on 1st October 2015, was co-sponsored by Sri Lanka along with the UK, Macedonia, Montenegro and the United States. Whilst 9 primary commitments were included in the resolution, a key point of contention domestically, party of Resolution 30/1. There was a problem, but the government did not know it. The delegation which went there had agreed to co-sponsor the resolution. A majority of the people had voted in favor of what had been clearly mentioned in the President's manifesto. Therefore, we have a public mandate. We are implementing this mandate.
Geneva මානව හිමිකම් කවුන්සිලේ අපි කරන ප්‍රකාශය කරන්න. ඒ ජනවාරම ක්‍රියාත්මක කරන්න තමයි අපි දැන් සූදානම් වෙන්නේ.
ඒක හරිම මෝඩ ක්‍රියාවලියක්. මේ රට යලි වතාවක් ආපස්සට ඇද දැමීම.
Certain things are in violation of the constitution. Mangala Samaravira has gone and agreed on these matters. We are withdrawing from the agreement as we cannot move forward with it.
While negotiating with the United Nations, Ranil Wickremesinghe's government played with the country. We are now facing the repercussions of those activities. The country has a black mark in the international arena. Now the government is facing a challenge of avoiding causing embarrassment to the country.
The army commander is a good person. We do not approve the travel ban imposed on him. However, I wish to remind that the travel ban was also imposed on nearly 50 army officers. The ban was first imposed on me. I did not receive a visa when I was supposed to travel with the then president to the UN. I was expected to take part in a UN session as a minister, but I did not receive a visa at that time as well. Until today, I do not have a visa to enter the US. They have cancelled my green card as well. I had to face this situation as I served as the army commander during the war. The politicians who are shedding crocodile tears now were silent back then. This is wrong. Those who are shedding crocodile tears are not doing it on their own.
The resolution 40/1, which was adopted at last, is in effect for 2 years. It will only expire on March next year. Therefore, the government cannot say it is withdrawing from the resolution. This resolution has already been passed irrespective of what the foreign minister says. The resolution was adopted with the consent of the government. Therefore, Sri Lanka cannot withdraw itself under any circumstances. They are saying they are withdrawing from the resolution in order to deceive the people.
A project to develop 100,000 kilometers of alternate and rural roads was launched today under the patronage of President Gotabaya Rajapaksa.
The inauguration ceremony was held in Galaha Peradeniya today. Work commenced today on developing the Galaha Deltota Rikillagaskada road.
ආරක්ෂක ලේකම්වරයාගේ ඉඳලා සියලුම අංශවලට අපේ රටේ ඉන්න හොඳම ආරක්ෂක නිලධාරීන්ව අපි පත් කරලා තියෙනවා.
We have appointed the best defense officials in our country to all sectors from the position of defense secretary onwards. The intelligence apparatus has been strengthened. I guarantee to you that we will not allow secessionist terrorism or religious extremist terrorism to arise in this country again. I promise that the law would function independently without my interference, and this has been entrusted to the relevant authorities. However, I hope that the independence of the judiciary will be utilized appropriately. I have great trust in our Chief Justice. Do not construe the independence we have granted as a weakness of the government. Over the past 5 years, the strong governance system in the country was weakened through the 19th Amendment. The powers of the President, Prime Minister and Parliament have been weakened. This will be changed, and a strong government and strong executive will be established to serve the people. Since all the officials have been made fearful, everything comes to the cabinet for approval. This is unnecessary. We have given them the opportunity to fearlessly make decisions in order to serve the people. We call on public officials to fearlessly make these decisions in order to serve the people.
අරගෙන ජනතාව වෙනුවෙන් ඒ සේවය ඉටු කරන්නට කියලා.
The introduction of an electronic system for the registration of lands took place in Colombo today. Now, the event took place under the patronage of State Minister of Public Administration and Home Affairs, Mahinda Samarasinghe.
The project is being implemented by the Land Registry Office and the Information and Communication Technology Agency of Sri Lanka. The ownership of any lands across the country can be confirmed through this system.
ඕනම කෙනෙකුට තාක්ෂණය හරහා
Any individual can submit their documents online. This system is being introduced so that there is a legal mechanism to submit the documents to a bank or for any other transaction.
මේ වැඩපිළිවෙල අපි ක්‍රියාත්මක කරන්න දැන් පටන් ගන්නේ.
The State Minister intervened when officials of the Land Registry Office carried out an explanation of the system.
මහජනයා ඉදම් දේශා කාර්යාලයට එන එකත් අවම වේවි මේක ඔන්ලයින් දෙන්න ගමන්. දැන් නම් අපේ ලෑන්ඩ් රෙජිස්ට්‍රි වලට බනින කට්ටිය තමයි වැඩි. ඇත්ත කතාව නම් නමුත් ඉස්සරහට අපි ඒකත් අඩු කරගන්න තමයි මේ ක්‍රමයෙන් බලාපොරොත්තු වෙන්නේ. මෙන්න මේ කරුණු කාරණා ටික අපිට වෙන්න ඕනේ මේ ෆොරේන කෙනෙකුට ඇවිල්ලා මෙහි බිස්නස් එකක් පටන් ගන්න නම් කටයුතු කරන්න. මේ ටික මේ ලංකාවේ තියෙන්න ඕනේ.
හાર્ඩ් කොපි එක දෙන්න.
හරි.
මේගොල්ලන්ට දොරලි ඩීටේල්ස් එක ගන්න මම හිතන්නේ අවශ්‍යම පොයින්ට්ස් ටික ඔයා කිව්වා.
The controversial Millennium Challenge Corporation Sri Lanka Compact is an agreement for a grant of $480 million to simplify processes and regulations surrounding lands in this country and to develop the transport system. The interim report of the committee appointed by the current government to examine the MCC Sri Lanka Compact was submitted to the President on the 17th of this month. Speaking last year on the intentions of the Sri Lanka Compact, MCC's Sri Lanka Resident Country Director had this to say.
350 million of it is to improve over 300 kilometers of urban and rural transport infrastructure, to reduce traffic congestion and travel times in and out of Colombo through an automated traffic management system, to modernize bus transport to make it safer, more reliable and more efficient through the introduction of new buses, an automated fare card system and a bus priority system, and finally to upgrade several stretches of interprovincial roads in the central, Sabaragamuwa and eastern provinces.
This government is not fulfilling any of the promises they made when they came in. They said they would catch the bond scam thieves. They said punishment would be meted out for the Easter attacks. They said the MCC agreement would be abolished. However, the government is now stating publicly that 100,000 kilometers of roads will be developed. Where is the money coming from? On the other hand, moves are underway via the Land Ministry to amend the laws in the country. The minister is making presentations saying that land laws should be amended to allow foreigners to purchase land. This is the MCC agreement. The government is playing a double game. They said they are withdrawing from both Geneva resolutions owing to Shavindra Silva's visa problems. These are lies that this government is using to calm the people. The government is lying while signing the MCC agreement on the other hand and is playing a double game with America.
Interdicted High Court Judge Gihan Pilapitiya submitted a writ application to the Court of Appeal today seeking an interim injunction preventing his arrest. Gihan Pilapitiya is seeking an interim injunction preventing his arrest until such time as a hearing of his writ application is concluded. His petition also seeks an order from the court quashing the Attorney General's instruction to the Acting Inspector General of Police to take him into custody. The two-judge bench, comprising President of the Court of Appeal Justice A.H.M.D. Nawaz and Justice Arjuna Obesekara, postponed consideration of the petition until tomorrow. The bench also permitted the plaintiff to issue notice on the acting IGP to appear before court tomorrow. Former Sri Lankan Airlines CEO Kapila Chandrasena and his spouse Priyanka Niyomali Vijayanayaka were ordered to be further remanded today.
Kapila Chandrasena and his wife have been charged with laundering a sum of $2 million which they received as a bribe to influence the procurement of 10 Airbus aircraft for Sri Lankan Airlines. The suspects were produced before Fort Magistrate Ranga Disanayake today. The duo were taken into custody on the 6th of this month after they surrendered to the Criminal Investigations Department. Fort Magistrate Ranga Disanayake ordered today that Chandrasena and his wife be further remanded until the 4th of March.
Fort Magistrates Court issued an order for details of 4 bank accounts maintained by businessman Nimal Hemasiri Pereira, owner of Global Vision Holding in Sri Lanka, to be handed over and imposed a travel ban on Pereira over the Sri Lankan Airlines refleeting deal investigations. It was revealed in court today a sum of $800,000 were transferred from the account maintained by Priyanka Niyomali Vijayanayaka, the wife of former Sri Lankan Airlines CEO Kapila Chandrasekara, to an account owned by Cebu Vision Holdings.
Incidentally, businessman Nimal Hemasiri Pereira is a prosecution witness in a case against MP Namal Rajapaksa under the Prevention of Money Laundering Act, which is being heard at the Fort Magistrates Court. Deputy Solicitor General Tusit Mudalige informed court a sum of €160,000 were transferred from the account of Priyanka Niyomali Vijayanayaka to another account maintained by a company identified as Sri Lanka Adverts. It was revealed that the company does not have a listed permanent address and has only 2 directors. Accordingly, the 2 directors are brothers and the CID had recorded statements from the youngest of the 2 brothers and the other was summoned to the CID to record a statement tomorrow. The CID did not name the directors during the hearing. Fort Magistrate Ranga Disanayake had questioned the CID as to why the investigations against former Sri Lankan Airlines CEO Kapila Chandrasena and his spouse, arrested on charges of money laundering in the Sri Lankan Airlines Airbus refleet deal, are slow. The Fort Magistrate said if there is any influence or pressure on the investigations, court must be informed regarding it. The CID said the reason for the delay was a 2-week overseas visit undertaken by the chief detective investigating the matter. The case will be called up again on the 4th of March.
MP Anura Kumar Disanayake expressed these views regarding the forensic audit report on the controversial bond issuance.
There has been more than enough evidence to suggest that those governing this country have, in a short time, accrued the wealth that belongs to the people of this country. It is an extremely close-knit group that have engaged in this thievery. If you look at the Airbus deal, the chairman who approved the deal is the current Prime Minister's brother-in-law. Chamal Rajapaksa's son is in the board of directors. That decision is made at Chamal Rajapaksa's house. The CEO is Kapila Chandrasena. The chairman of the board that decides to cancel the deal is headed by Ajit Dias, Ranil Wickremesinghe's good friend. Suren Ratwatta is part of that board as the chief executive officer. He is the brother of Ranil Wickremesinghe's close friend Charita Ratwatta. Ajit Niwad Cabral was the governor of the central bank. The Perpetual Treasuries was issued a primary dealer's license. Ajit Niwad Cabral's sister functioned in the capacity of the chief executive officer of the Perpetual Group. A number of Cabral's relatives are also part of organizations that take part in these bond transactions. Ranil Wickremesinghe becomes the Prime Minister and takes the central bank under his purview. He appoints his close friend Arjuna Mahendran as the governor of the central bank. Arjuna Mahendran carries out the transactions that make the largest losses with his son-in-law Arjuna Aloysius. The former ambassador to Russia is under arrest as a suspect in the controversial MIG deal. Normally, our ambassadors are changed every 3 years. Udayanga Veeratunga was not changed for a period of 6 years. He is also a relative of Mahinda Rajapaksa's. He is the main accused in the MIG deal. the former ambassador to the United States, Jalia Wickramasuriya. He is on a red notice and is also a relative of Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa. You can find out how this country became poor if you look at how the political class became wealthy. Some MPs arrived at the COPE after receiving lessons from Arjuna Mahendran on the advice of then Prime Minister Ranil Wickramasinghe. Over the last 4.5 years, some MPs have come into COPE sittings based on the advice of Arjuna Mahendran on how to protect their thieves. Once I asked the Prime Minister in Parliament where Arjuna Mahendran went, and he replied saying he went for a wedding and that he will return quickly. Those who slammed Arjuna Mahendran and spoke of putting Ranil Wickramasinghe in jail have now begun to say our thief is good for us.
අර්ජුන මහේන්ද්‍රවන පට්ට ගහන්න කතා කරපු අය රනිල් වික්‍රමසිංහව හිරිය දාන්න කතා කරපු දාන්න ඕන අද අපේ හොරා අපිට හොඳ අපේ කඳවුරේ හොරා අපි ආරක්ෂා කරගන්න ඕන කියන න්‍යායකට අවතීර්ණ වී තිබෙන තව තමයි පාර්ලිමේන්තු වාදිත වෙන්නේ කෝප් සභාවේ.
That is what we see. The COPE members met at Temple Trees separately. Ranjan will bear testament to that fact. They spoke on how they can protect their thieves. They took that on board and came onto televisions. The corrupt take lessons from the corrupt. Now it is the same with Cabral. Did Cabral not give a talk to the parliamentary group? You lot are no longer representatives of the people. You are representatives of the thieves. This parliament has fallen prey to thieves. This is no longer a house that represents the people. It now represents thieves. It is those that stole the wealth of the people that give the MPs a defender to work during elections. I don't ask that you punish these people. You can't, can you? You are representatives of thieves. You are fraudsters. You are representatives of fraudsters. You cannot punish these wrongs. So, Chairman of the House, bring down Arjuna Mahendran, put Cabral in jail, put Udayanga Veeratunga in jail, bring down Jalia Wickramasuriya, put Gamini Senarath in jail. It is this complete upper crust of government that is out on High Court bail. They are now presidential advisors. They are now secretaries to the President. They are secretaries to the Prime Minister. Where are the ministers? Ministers have become those with serious allegations who are roaming outside freely. Our country is finished. It is now a paradise for the corrupt. It is our responsibility to raise our voice for Mother Lanka. I do not think that raising our voice in this parliament adds any value.
Parliamentarian Ranjan Ramanayake responded to the allegations levelled against him that cites the recordings tabled by him in Parliament contains profanity.
Lanka, which is a national newspaper, has published today that majority of Ranjan's phone recordings contain profane words. Yesterday, I was late to come to Parliament from prison. I did not hear the Honourable Speaker saying something like this. Honourable Speaker, I believe that you are here to protect the parliamentarians. In the recent past, Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa said that a Presidential Commission of Inquiry will be appointed to look into the released phone recordings of mine. I am eagerly waiting till that comes to light, because the people of this country has the right to know about the conversations that took place between the people who they voted for, the people who obtained car permits because of them, and who received pensions after 5 years because of them. The people paid for their electricity bills, water bills and luxurious vehicles. Therefore, through these recordings, they will know all about it. This I say with utmost responsibility. These recordings include 2 telephone conversations with Honourable Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa, 1 conversation with former President Maithripala Sirisena, 1 conversation with SP Dissanayaka, 2 conversations with Asha Alutgamage, who is the wife of Cabinet Minister Mahindananda Alutgamage, 1 conversation with Shashi Veeravansa, who is the wife of Vimal Veeravansa, and 1 conversation with the General Secretary of the SLFP, Minister Dayasiri Jayasekara. None of these recordings contain profanity. I would like to ask from you or the honourable members of Parliament as to how you can define these as profane statements.
කුණු හරුප කියන එක නිර්වචනය කළේ.
මන්ත්‍රීතුමා මේ සම්බන්ධයෙන් පුවත්පත් වලින් දෙන ශීර්ෂපාර ගැන මට පරිබාන නමුත් මාත් කනගාටු වෙනවා ගැන මම පොඩ්ඩක් හොයලා බලන්න කුණු හරුප වෙනුවට අසභ්‍ය කියනවා නම් අසෝබනයි කියන වඩා හොඳයි. අදාළ පුවත්පත් සමග සාකච්ඡා කරලා යම්කේ නිවැරදි කිරීමක් කරන කතා කරන්නේ.
දැන් දැනුත් මාත් ඉන්නවා ඔබතුමා දැනුත් කිව්ව අසභ්‍ය කියලා. එතකොට ඒකත් දැන් යනවනේ අසභ්‍ය.
දැන් බලන්න කොහොමද කියලා ඒක තමයි හොයලා බලන්න
කියන්නේ. දැන් ආයෙ කිව්වම අරගොල්ලෝ ලියනවනේ. දැන් ඔබතුමා දැනුත් කියනවා අසභ්‍ය කියලා. එතකොට දැන් අර කට්ටිය දැන් ලියනවා අසභ්‍ය කියලා.
කුණු හරුප වෙනුවට මං කියවන්නේ ඒක කියලා කුණු හරුප වෙනුවට අසභ්‍ය කියන වචනේ.
ගරු කතානායකතුමනි එතකොට ජනාධිපතිලා මං කියන කුණු හරුප අහන් ඉන්නවද?
ඔබතුමාට කන් දුන්නානේ මං.
ඉතින් ඒගොල්ලොත් වැරදි නේද?
හොඳයි ඔබතුමාට කන් දුන්නා මං අදාළ ආයතන සම කතා කරන්න කතා කරලා මං දැනුවත් යන්න.
Welcome back. A media briefing on the progress of the investigations into the April 21st attacks was held at the police headquarters today.
මේ අප්‍රේල් 21 දින සිදුවෙච්ච ප්‍රහාරයට අදාළව
A total of 216 individuals, including 7 females, have been arrested in connection with the April 21st attacks. Out of the total suspects, 153 of them have been either detained or remanded under the Prevention of Terrorism Act. 6 Sri Lankans who were brought down from UAE are also among the total arrested suspects. It has been revealed that they had abetted the terrorist attacks. 4 Maldivian nationals too have been arrested for abetting the attacks. Investigations are being carried out into them as well. Another 2 incidents which are being probed are the recovery of explosives in Vanathavilluwa and the vandalization of Buddhist statues in Kegol. Investigations have shown that there is a link between both these incidents. 40 individuals have been arrested in connection with the vandalization of Buddhist statues in Mavanalla. They have been detained. 13 of them are believed to have direct links with the April 21st attacks. We have performed well as the country's main investigative body. Our expectation is to complete these investigations quickly and to file cases against those who were involved directly or indirectly in the attacks by sending the relevant files to the Attorney General's Department. A team of police officers, including the police spokesman, underwent a special training program conducted by trained police officers in India. We now have an opportunity of defeating the manner in which the youth are lured into acts of extremism and radicalism. We cannot give back the lives of around 300 people who were killed in the attacks. However, as a country's investigative body, we will take steps to punish those involved in the attacks in line with the country's legal framework.
නීතිය ඉදිරියේ දඬුවම් ලබා දීමට හැකි සෑම ක්‍රියාමාර්ගයක්ම අපි ගන්නවා.
The chairman of the Presidential Commission of Inquiry into Political Persecution issued notice on the Attorney General today to furnish to the Commission all documentation in the custody of the AG's Department and the CID in relation to the alleged abduction and disappearance of 11 youth in September 2008. Now, the notice was issued in line with the complaint submitted to the Commission by Admiral of the Fleet Wasantha Karannagoda, claiming he was a victim of political persecution by the Yahapalani government.
Testifying before the Commission of Inquiry on Political Persecution today, Wasantha Karannagoda said that allegations of war crimes against Sri Lanka were levelled at the Human Rights Council in Geneva by US Representative Samantha Power. Karannagoda claimed that former Minister Mangala Samaravira had provided assistance from Sri Lanka to enable the levelling of these allegations. The former Navy commander said it was against this backdrop that Power attended the event celebrating Mangala Samaravira's 30 years in politics as the chief guest. Karannagoda claimed today that a cunning plan was put in place to arrest him in order to satisfy Samantha Power. He accused the Yahapalana government of attempting to turn him from plaintiff to defendant while acquitting the chief suspect in the abductions, Lieutenant Commander Sampath Munasinghe. He also claimed before the Commission that Lieutenant Commander D.K.B. Dasanayake was arrested in 2017 in order to satisfy the visiting UN representative Ben Emerson. Considering the statements made by Karannagoda, the chairman of the Commission ordered the Attorney General to submit all case documents to the Commission. Appearing before the Commission for the first time today, Lieutenant Commander Prasad Chandana Kumara Hettiarachchi of the Sri Lanka Navy claimed that he had been informed by the CID to testify to the effect that Gotabaya Rajapaksa and Wasantha Karannagoda had been involved in the assassination of MP Nadaraj Raviraj and his bodyguard. He said he had been informed the CID that he had no such information. Hettiarachchi informed the Commission that he had been summoned without cause to the CID on the 15th of March 2015 and was detained there for 23 days.
Retired Major General Vijitha Ravipriya was appointed as the Director General of Customs. The Prime Minister's media unit said the appointment was made this evening. Major General Vijitha Ravipriya of Sri Lanka Artillery during his tenure served many command and staff appointments in his regiment and the Army, including the Office of Director General Training at the Army Headquarters, General Officer Commanding 57 Division, Director Media and Office Military Spokesperson, Director General General Staff, Director Personal Administration, Director Plans and a number of other key appointments in the Army, including overseas ones. He held the office of the Commander Security Forces Kilinochchi as his last appointment prior to his retirement. Still in local news, as a developing country, Sri Lanka is facing rapid urbanization, which increases the need for mobility. Reports show that roads are holding over 70% of the traffic in Sri Lanka.
Newsfirst reported last night that new vehicle registrations in Sri Lanka has increased by more than 48% in January of this year when compared to December 2019. Now, the implication of increasing vehicular movement on Sri Lanka's road network is primarily twofold. Firstly, it increases the economic cost due to congestion, and secondly, it increases the detrimental effect it has on the environment of our country. Lack of comfort, safety and right quality in public transportation modes have led people to use higher number of private vehicles on roads. The overwhelming majority of vehicles seem to be concentrated within the Western province.
The traffic congestion now amounts to about 100 billion rupees annually just in the Western province. And that is if you are expecting to travel at 20 kilometers an hour. If you want to travel at faster than that, the cost of congestion will be even higher.
Managing the mobility of people and goods is one of the toughest environmental and social challenges that countries, including Sri Lanka, face. Travel speeds within the Colombo metropolitan area have gone down from 17 kilometers per hour in 2017 to 8 kilometers per hour in 2020 and are projected to go down further to 4 kilometers per hour in 2035. The road network expansion during the last decade has also been a mere 0.3%. Reports show that the city of Colombo attracts about 1.5 million floating population on a working day, and with the addition of the resident population in the city, the total population in the city increases to more than 2 million during the daytime. It is estimated that about 50% of the commuting population arrives in the city for employment or to connect in commercial activities and or to attend educational institutions. What could be done to resolve this issue? Professor Amal Kumarage explained further.
Simply, we have to improve the quality of the entire public transport ecosystem. Not just improve buses and trains, how they connect to each other, what information we give into the hands of people, how they pay for it in terms of tickets, the public service that is provided, and we see this being offered in many countries, cities globally. Secondly, we need to extend that in the medium term to railway, not just electrification, but making it accessible, usable by commuters with all the modernization that is required. And finally, in the long term, in the next 20-30 years, we need to look at what is called rapid transit, including light rapid transit.
Now, Sri Lanka's road network over the past decade has only increased by a mere 0.3%. Newsfirst reported on countless occasions in the recent past projects plagued with allegations of unnecessary spending and improper feasibility studies. One such project was the flyover constructed at the Rajagiriya junction. Although it was brought in as a solution, the congestion in the area is still a nightmare to travel on during rush hours. The consequences of the decisions made by policymakers at the time has worsened the issue. Bearing all this in mind, it is evident that Sri Lanka desperately needs an ardent short-term and long-term policy to address the issue of congestion within the country, more specifically in urban areas. Failing to do so, however, would result in severe economic, social and environmental consequences. I'm Jayamal Ratnayaka for the Newsfirst team.
Political parties in crisis.
The political world continues to heat up, and particularly in the side of the United National Party. Now, the United National Party-led alliance under the leadership of opposition leader Sajith Premadasa is currently in the formulation of a new front, but there has been a few issues around the symbol that the party will use in contesting the upcoming elections. Unofficial sources say that the swan has been agreed upon, but legally will there be impediments? There has been notification submitted to the Elections Commission, but it looks like we'll have to wait until Parliament is dissolved before we can finally come to an idea on what the United National Party-led alliance's symbol will be. Enquiries were made from the Elections Commission once again today on whether the United National Party-led alliance could contest the upcoming parliamentary election under the symbol of the swan. This resulted from a problem which arose at the UNP Working Committee meeting this morning. It's a very successful result. We came to get a clarification on our request. We received this clarification and our need has been met.
නමුත් නීතිමය බාධාවක් තියෙනවා කියලා මේකේ පේන්නේ ඔබතුමාගේ කතාවේ.
නෑ නෑ එහෙම කිසිම නීතිමය බාධාවක් නෑ.
තව මේ එතකොට හදවත නැද්ද දැන්?
හදවත තියෙනවා තාම.
ඒක ප්‍රශ්නයක් තිබුණා.
The problem arose that if the swan symbol is transferred from another party, then it cannot be used again by that party until the next election. We will be discussing all of this. We cannot make a decision as yet.
තාම තීන්දුවක් ගන්න බෑ. We were
informed that we could contest under the symbol of the swan. This must be discussed in the working committee. We cannot make a unilateral decision. Our swan and the elephant must discuss this and we will inform you what action will be taken. It is vague legally. It is not a question of being unable to contest under the swan. The elephant and the swan will discuss it. We are saddened that they said no to the elephant. This is why the swan has come forward.
But the working committee met at the party headquarters of Sirikota before going to the election commission. Whilst a final decision was expected on which symbol the alliance would contest under at the parliamentary election, a difference of opinion had arisen at the meeting on whether to contest under the elephant or the swan. If we are to contest under the elephant, then the elephant must be transferred to the new alliance. The problem is that there is an unwillingness to do so. A clear decision was taken to contest as an alliance under the leadership of Sajith Premadasa. We also decided to grant the symbol of the swan. The party said they could not transfer the elephant to the alliance and that is why it was decided to contest under the swan. This decision will not be reversed. Work can commence to transfer the symbol only after Parliament is dissolved. A decision will be made as soon as the government is dissolved and the swan will be made the symbol of the alliance.
සම්බන්ධයෙන් අපි ආණ්ඩුව විසුරුවපු ගමම්ම හංසයා ලකුණ මේ සන්ධානයේ ලකුණ කර ගැනීමට අපි කටයුතු කරනවා.
Whilst there are many who wish to contest under the swan, a majority including myself prefer to contest under the elephant. I prefer to contest under the elephant.
Panambarage Jacinta, a Sri Lankan woman in Singapore, was named as a foreign domestic worker of 2020 for her extraordinary contributions to the family she serves. 58-year-old Jacinta, who was a resident of Kuliapitia, received a cash prize of 2,000 Singapore dollars. The Foreign Domestic Worker of the Year is selected based on their extraordinary contribution to the family, the complexity of the job and the foreign domestic worker's commitment to his or her own self-improvement. Well, one of Sri Lanka's most awaited cricketing encounters, the Battle of the Blues between Royal College Colombo and St. Thomas's College Mount Alvernia, will take place from the 12th to the 14th of March at the SSC grounds in Colombo. The two schools convened a press conference today.
All of you will agree with me that this is the biggest event in the cricketing calendar of Sri Lanka cricket in this country. This match between two great schools has earned its rightful place in the Cricket Hall of Fame as the world's second largest uninterrupted cricket match. Roito will be played at the SSC amongst the cheer and rivalry of thousands of school boys, parents, all boys, their spouses and other well-wishers.
Where 22 cricketers will be battling out on the green for the coveted DS Serenayaka Shield. This game is yours, and don't let all these fancy events take your attention from that. Much festivities and prestige surrounds the Royal Thomin encounter, but for the 22 of you, this is your game to battle out in the middle according to the rules of the game.
And that's a wrap of this edition of Primetime News. For the news, team, I'm Mazra Hassan.
And I am Shahin Jurangpati. Good night and take care.